Week 5 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few prospects I would watch and possibly add to my roster this week. So last week, a couple guys that came up from the minor leagues. We saw Jordan Beck, one of the top prospects in the Rocky system. He got called up. Joey Lofafito, who was on the list last week, he got called up as well. Pete Crow Armstrong from the Cubs. So these prospects are starting to come up, and the Milwaukee Brewers just called up Tyler Black as well. So prospects getting called up. Teams, they know these young guys can help their roster. So here's a few guys to watch. Like I said, or possibly could be up soon, or if you want to just stash them on your roster. The first prospect's Junior Caminero of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Caminero, I mentioned him last week, and they're just waiting to call him up now because he's the number 4 prospect in all Major League Baseball is Caminero. He's starting to get things going. I know he was injured earlier in the season here, but he's done pretty much everything you want to see from him in his minor league career. I know he's only 20 years old, but right now in AAA with the Tampa Bay Rays, Durham Bulls, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, 9 runs scored, a 313 average, and a 377 on base. So Caminero, I know, only 48 at-bats this season in the minor leagues, but this kid's got serious pop, only 20 years old, and he's a guy that could play shortstop or third base for this Tampa Bay Ray team. And like I said, this Ray team, they need some power in the lineup right now because they've dealt with some injuries this year, and they're platooning as usual, a lot of players, but this guy's a blue chipping prospect, and he's had a great career in the minor leagues, and he hit 893 at-bats with 55 homers, 190 RBIs with a 316 average. So right now, I know the home runs aren't all that great with 55 and 893 at-bats, but driving in runs, stealing some bases here and there, batting average and on base, he can help in a big way, and he's pretty much done it all. So I think in a few weeks we could see Caminero up, and like I said, he's the number 4 prospect in all Major League Baseball, and obviously the number 1 prospect in the Tampa Bay Rays system. Next prospect's Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's just a matter of time. I think Skeens is going to be up for this Pirate team because his last outing, he finally went out there and they really stretched him out 7 innings. So Skeens, he's been working on the pitch count. He's been building it up, and he's been lights out down there in the minor leagues on the season. 0-0 record, 0.39 ERA, 6 games started, 23 innings, a whopping 41 strikeouts, and an 0.87 whip. So he was the number 1 pick in the 2023 Major League Draft, number 1 prospect in all Major League Baseball. And right now, I know this Pirate team, they've trotted some guys out there who've been pretty decent. Bailey Falter has been pretty decent, surprisingly, for this Pittsburgh Pirate team. Marco Gonzalez, he was good before he went down. Martin Perez, some of the veterans, but also you want to see some of these youngsters and what they got. Even Quinn Priest has been decent as well, but I think it's just a matter of time till Paul Skeens comes up in the major leagues. And the only thing is right now, he's already owned in 64% of fantasy leagues. He's not really going to be a guy you could stash on your roster. People have been anticipating him coming up sooner than later. He is Paul Skeens. So right now, it's going to be tough for fantasy owners, no doubt about it, to go out there and get him on their fantasy roster. But like I said, he's one of the top prospects we've seen in a while, and a lot of buzz here with Paul Skeens. Tough to get him. It wouldn't be surprising if Skeens is up in the next couple weeks as the pitch counts build up in a big way the last few weeks. He's dominating AAA, and he was the number 1 pick for a reason. So right now, Paul Skeens, if he's somewhere out there in your fantasy league, but like I said, he's only in 64% of leagues, I would go out there and stash him this week. Prospects Cade Horton of the Chicago Cubs. So Cade Horton, in number 2 prospect in the minor league system for the Chicago Cub team, number 23 overall in the major leagues. So Cade Horton, he did get a promotion from AA to AAA here, so I think it could be right around the corner. I know this Cub team, they got a lot of pitching. Justin Steele could be back sooner than later, and this rotation, they really built it well in the offseason. They got Shota Imanaga. I know Marcus Stroman left in free agency, went to the New York Yankees. Ben Brown, he's had some spot starts in there as well. Jamie Santalian's looked decent, but Cade Horton, he's a blue chipper prospect, like I said, and someone moving up the ranks pretty quick for this Cub team. And he was a round 1, 7th overall pick in 2022. So on the season in AA, he hasn't made an outing yet for AAA. 1-0 record, 1.10 ERA, 4 games started, 16 in the third, and 18 strikeouts and 0.92 whips. So the only thing with Horton as well, he's got to build up that strength and that pitch count, and obviously go deeper into ball games like Paul Skeens is starting to do. And that's why I think the promotion to AAA is what the Cubs are going to do, see what he can do in AAA, build up that arm and build up the pitch count. And it wouldn't be surprising if Horton's up in the major leagues maybe mid-June, early July for the Chicago Cub team, because like I said, now he's going to AAA And if he could dominate over there for a month to 6 weeks, there's no reason for him to stay down. And this Cub team definitely could use help pitching the baseball, even though, like I said, they got a deep rotation. It just takes 1 or 2 injuries for someone to go down and next man up. So with Cade Horton going to AAA, and we'll see what he could do there. Someone definitely to watch. And he's available as well in 95% of fantasy leagues. The next play is Kyle Manzardo of the Cleveland Guardians. So Manzardo, number 53 prospect in all Major League Baseball. And it was surprising to me that this Tampa Bay Ray team traded him away, where we know this Ray team, they like their young players, and they're usually good with their farm system and drafting players. So Manzardo in AAA, he's tearing it up so far in the first month, 5 weeks of the year. 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, 20 runs scored, 92 at-bats, a 304 batting average, and a 382 on base. So he's getting on base a whole lot is Manzardo. He's got some power, obviously 23 years old, available in 93% of fantasy leagues. And he had a track record in the minor leagues, 810 at-bats, 151 runs, 48 homers, 162 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, a 286 average, and a 384 on base. If he came up to the majors, he could be a guy that could hit 15, 20 home runs, bat 280s, 300 range. That's what he's done in his minor league career. And someone with a good eye at the plate as well. So Manzardo, like I said, this Guardian team, I believe, could use some more hitting. And he's someone who could play first base or DH, obviously. With even Josh Nail will move into the outfield to DH if you needed him to. We wouldn't be surprised if Manzardo's up in a few weeks here, because like I said, there's not much left for him to do. And if he continues to rake at AAA at the highest level, obviously, in the minor leagues, next stop's going to be the major leagues, so someone to keep an eye on. And definitely a player to have on the radar if you need some power. Some final prospect to keep an eye on and possibly stash on your rosters, Jacob Misiorowski of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Misiorowski is anticipated call-up times 2025, but this Brewer team, a lot of injuries in the rotation. Wade Miley out for the season. He's going to need Tommy John. DL Hall, he's banged up. And they're going with guys like Bryce Wilson in the starting rotation here as well for this team. So right now, he's another player. Got to get the innings, got to get the arms stretched out. Misiorowski, and he's only in Double-A, so I would think this Brewer team wants to get him to AAA before they call him up. But he's a big kid, 6'7", 190, only 22 years old. And on the season, 0-0 record, 3.44 ERA. 5 games started, 18 in the third, but 28 strikeouts, a 1.09 whip. So he's got to work on the walk rate a little bit. But he's a blue chipper as well, a second-round pick in 2022 for the Brewers. And the number 30 prospect in all Major League Baseball. Like I said, with the injuries in the rotation, and if another player or two goes down, he's going to get the call-up, I believe, even from Double-A. Because like I said, he's one of their top prospects in the system, is Misiorowski. Top 30 in the major leagues. And he's got electric stuff, just like I said, stretching the arm out, hitting the strike zone more, and working on that secondary pitch. If he could get those things tinkered and tuned up here, he definitely could be a big-time prospect to help fantasy owners and someone to keep an eye on. So that's a few prospects I look to watch and possibly stash here for Week 5 of the fantasy baseball season.